Just make it a thing.
There you go.
Have a quick.
So this is my roommate, guys. Say hi. So apparently this is just my evil dog now. I'm gonna purr like pet sinisterly.
He's not evil.
While he has this like huge fantastic grin on his face.
He's a happy evil
Yeah,
dog.
he looks like.
Anyway, so hi guys. Ron's with me now, obviously.
Oh, you know this.
Well, like I felt like I was watching the second episode by myself. Like, this feels like a Ron thing. And sure enough, like the next day, you sent a message on Facebook going, "Hey, if you guys are doing a review for Luke Cage, I'm totally down." It's like,
Yep.
Sure, let's do it.
Well, yes, this entire Netflix original series is a Ron thing.
Yeah, so
Luke Cage is a Ron thing.
it was also like, this is a Ron thing. But I thought of, I feel massively underqualified to talk about this.
Well, it's not that you're underqualified. It's that we got to bring both sides of the experience. You know?
Yeah.
I just got some things I walk around with that you've never had before.
And as a pasty face pecker would, I will fully acknowledge.
Pasty face pecker. You see this? You see this? All of the white hate comes from the white person.
Hey, I'm not saying that in hate. I'm just stating facts.
He is segregating himself. All right.
So yeah,
I didn't do it.
This is Luke Cage, episode 2, Code of the Street. You and I both already watched this going into this. We honestly mostly watched this episode just to get a refresher where we're at.
Yeah,
and
man.
Just basically catch up.
This is gonna be hard for me because I've seen the whole series, so I'm kind of I gotta
the bias
encapsulate my thoughts, and I do have a bit of bias because I've seen the whole thing. But there is not a bad frame or a bad plot line or a bad character in this series.
Well, maybe some like the very minor, like in a scene for a second.
There are some actors who definitely played up their performances because, I mean, let's be honest, black actors don't get a whole lot of shine or opportunities to do this kind of stuff.
No.
So I could see some of that. Some people were trying to ham a little bit, but it's not so much you notice, and it doesn't destroy any of the arcs.
Well, I think it still fits, like, even like the hamminess still fits like the
A little
vibe
bit.
of the show. Because again, like the impression I got is like this feels like good blaxploitation era movie.
It does, and it has all of the strengths of a blaxploitation film and none of the weaknesses. You know.
Yeah.
And that's what I really like about it.
Well, in this episode in particular, oh Max, no.
Hey, man.
Get your nose out of there. Nice try though.
There's nothing there, bro.
Alright, anyway, so this episode starts out pretty much where the last episode left off, like the day after Luke Cage stops the muggers from attacking his landlord. He goes back to work, and then Cottonmouth comes into the shop because he's looking for Chico, who at that point is on the run from Cottonmouth, and gets a shave there while Shades, who still makes me laugh every time he's on fucking screen.
Yeah, like he's one of the guys who I think was hamming it up a little bit.
Oh, he absolutely,
the way he walks in, he's like,
he's always has that shitty grin on his face, like yeah.
I won't kill it, but he gets better.
No,
he gets better.
I hope not. I love him like this. He makes me laugh.
Well, the character doesn't change, but I mean the demeanor in which he exists in the storyline, it gets better.
Yeah, but even then, you can tell Luke Cage is kind of building more into the hero mentality. He's already playing how he's going to take these two out. And just basically just looks over at Pops and like almost asks for permission. Like, I have some dirty laundry here. Would you like me to take it out?
Right.
The point where I feel like Shakespeare going, is he talking about us? Because like, this is a giant, tall, black dude who looks like he can crush me like a tin can. You know? If he starts talking menacingly with that look on his face, I'm pretty sure he's talking about me.
Right, and the most significant part about this episode is that, and I don't think it's been done before or it's been done very little, is the fact that we are now discussing in Luke Cage, we are discussing black lineage, how it's not just that Pops has this barbershop and everybody loves him and comes over. He has a deep history within the community that goes back with Cottonmouth, that goes back with other people who are part of the story. Yeah. And we get to see that this is a lot deeper than just on its face, you know.
Yeah.
Somebody coming through and just starting crap in a neighborhood.
Yeah,
you get to see, like, I liken it to, you know, like if this film were to be an Italian hero, and it would be in Little Italy, you would see how everything weaves together. The families have been there for years. You know, all of these things, how people are socialized is all created in this kind of...
Well, I mean, like, even just in, like, these 2 episodes I've seen so far, Harlem does just feel like a vastly differently defined place than anything else we've seen in the Marvel Netflix series so far.
And that's because, also, Harlem is really the only example of African American lineage that has lasted. A lot of the records, families, lineage has been destroyed, you know, in other places. Like, if you really are getting deep into this and you want to learn more about the Black experience, I highly recommend a book called Black Wall Street, where it was basically an entire city owned by Black people, businesses, banks, and the Ku Klux Klan basically firebombed it from the sky and destroyed the entire town.
Wow.
So Harlem is from that era.
Okay.
And Harlem is the only thing that survived. It's because you get these really big poets, these singers, these activists. All of them came from, or it began in the Harlem Renaissance.
Okay.
Which is why Harlem is like a national landmark, just the entire place. And it's so important.
Yeah, the more you know.
Right. And but I say that because it's important to understand that context, to understand these story arcs and the places and the set pieces.
I think it's very important, especially for Luke Cage, who is like, again, this show has no reservations about fully embracing the Black culture that Luke Cage comes from. Like, no reservations. Like, even to the point down in the first episode that Luke Cage isn't necessarily directly from the Black community, so he's like, so there's stuff here that you might not understand.
Right.
Because he said like Luke Cage was from the country, is what they said here.
However, that's one of the pieces. I mean, as a comic fan, I was hoping that they would keep him from New York because he is from New York in the comic, and that's where all of his roots are, and it makes it even stronger. I'm not sure why they chose to put him in Georgia.
Probably just for the point of exposition, I would
maybe
say.
So.
Maybe because
because then I get what you mean, because then if he came to town and everybody knew who he was already,
because then it has to be start off the phrase, well, as you know, and then you go out from there, and it would feel a lot more awkward.
Right, but then also everybody in the neighborhood would have known him already.
Yeah,
and that would have created an issue. So I get you.
So that's the reason I think they did that choice. But anyway, this episode, so Chico, Luke Cage tracked down Chico,
right,
and then tries to convince him to come back. His pop's asking for a favor. He says, track down Chico just before Cottonmouth gets to him because I want to save him. Luke Cage like, you're wasting your time. It's like, he's not gonna come back. It's like,
Luke Cage is right, by the way.
he is right. But Pop says, I don't care. I want you to try anyway. You owe me one. So it's like, fine. So he does. He tracks him down pretty quickly, apparently. Which they referenced in the actual episode.
Yeah, he says I found you in 4 hours for free. Or something like that.
Something like that.
Like, what do you think everybody else is gonna do?
Yeah.
Or something of that nature.
So Pops tries to negotiate a parlay, basically, with him and Cottonmouth, trying to like get everyone to go on the same side so nobody dies, yada yada yada.
Pop's barbershop is Switzerland.
Yes,
apparently.
that's what they call it.
That's what they call it.
Shop is Switzerland. So yeah, while that's happening, meanwhile, Turk, who guest stars from Daredevil, is here.
I love Turk, man. I love no matter how much he gets his ass whooped or ends up in some fucked up situation, he always comes back and is like back to his old tricks.
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah.
I like stock characters like that who just appear, reappear, come back.
And then whatever it is, and it's like even then like I thought the line he has in the end of the episode again. We talked about this earlier, where it's like I thought it was kind of a little too tongue-in-cheek and kind of annoyed me at first until I thought about it, and I was like, okay, that was actually pretty funny when he just says like, "Do you ever go back to Hell's Kitchen where it's safe?"
Yeah.
That's kind of like, okay, that was like, I get it. You're from Daredevil. Was my first thought. The second thought was like, wait. He's saying it's safe basically because Daredevil is there. Right. That's actually pretty funny.
What I love about it, the parts that's most funniest to me is the fact that you get to see a real difference. I like the fact that Luke Cage dispels the rumors that all black people are alike. You know what I'm saying? Like even a hoodlum from Hell's Kitchen who's black is like, damn, you guys are crazy. You know what I mean? I'm a thief and an arms dealer. I do precision work. You guys are just You guys are out there. You know what I mean?
Doing your crazy shit.
Yeah. I like that. I like that a lot. I like that the separation.
Yeah.
Right. Like not everybody has the same intensity. Not everybody, and it's important because we do live in a society where black men are mad over sexualized. They're emasculated in certain ways and made over masculine in others.
Mm-hmm.
And to find that they actually converse and have cultural differences within a culture is important.
Yeah, definitely.
It's important.
All right. But yeah, so inevitably shit goes wrong, and they find out where Chico is, and Cottonmouth really doesn't want them to attack him at first. He's agreed to the parlay. Right. And it's like, okay, I'll give it a shot, but meanwhile...
I feel like Cottonmouth was genuine.
Yeah, I believe so too.
And like I said, later on, you got to figure out why.
Yeah, no, I agree.
It's because of, like I said, these familial things, these interwoven storylines in between people who existed in Harlem in earlier days.
Yeah. Start
to bleed into the present.
Mm-hmm.
And that's his motivations for parlaying are obvious once you know who Chico is.
Yeah, definitely. And I don't know who Chico is yet. I do know who Pops is.
Right, and Pops is a part of that too, which is why Cottonmouth flips out when he finds out.
Yeah, and Pops apparently was also a gangster who worked alongside Cottonmouth. So that's why Cottonmouth kind of has a soft spot for Pops to a certain extent. Meanwhile, Cottonmouth's assistant is having none of this parlay shit and decides to go in there with two giant machine guns and blow the place to hell. Chico is dead.
Succeeds.
Pops is dead.
Chico is actually not dead.
Oh, he's not. Oh, that's right. He's not dead. He barely survived.
Chico's actually not dead. And matter of fact, I'm just gonna drop the bomb anyway because I don't even think they touch on Chico's lineage. If you remember the 3 pictures in the photo, the third guy in that picture is Chico's dad.
Oh, okay.
So they grew up together.
Okay.
And that's why he won't kill him.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying?
Okay.
That's a part because Chico's dad ended up. So Pops talks a little bit about it, but Pops goes to jail for the gun beef. Cottonmouth goes on his own and becomes Cottonmouth.
Yeah.
And Chico's dad becomes strung out on drugs, and he's never around for his son.
Yeah.
Which goes back to that line where he's like, "I didn't have a father before, I don't need it now." It's the first episode.
Okay, that makes sense.
So that's actually Chico's dad in the picture, which ties them all together.
Okay.
And that's why the parlay was even entertained.
I see. Okay,
you get what I'm saying?
Yeah. So Cottonmouth doesn't take news very well. Throws the other guy off a roof. Turk says,
rightfully so. Yeah. Interesting that they let Turk witness the murder and they still let him go.
Yeah, this is Turk. Is like, who's he gonna tell? Like, he's just
right.
He knows what's up. Like, he's done this business long enough. He's gotten locked in jail by Daredevil twice now. So he's
true. And got his face bashed in.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, that happened too.
And then, so he sticks to playing chess now.
It's just like I'm good.
But yeah, so that's like the missing link of this episode, and maybe if there was any fault of that, I think maybe they should have explained that.
Maybe, yeah.
Because now that I think about it, I don't think they ever go back to it.
Huh.
Which is why I just dropped it here.
Yeah, that's why I missed it. But I like the characters here. I like where they're going with it. I like again that it definitely embraces its own identity and is not ashamed to separate itself out from the other Netflix shows.
Crucial.
Yeah, and I think I mentioned this episode. It feels separate but still a part.
Agreed.
Like it fits well into the universe, but it also it doesn't feel a need to blend in with the universe. It's still
not yet. Yeah, like I think giving it time to metastasize by itself is good.
Yeah, no, I agree.
I don't need to see Jessica Jones right now. Shit is too heavy in Harlem for Jessica Jones to show up with her little emo self.
Shit's already heavy with Jessica Jones, man.
Right. Plus that creates a bizarre ass love triangle, and yeah, that would be bad.
Not going there.
Yeah.
I've already read enough articles about Jessica Jones and how disturbingly accurate that show is. Which really is
for sure.
Honestly, me and Grant seriously disagree on this, but honestly, Jessica Jones is still Daredevil is probably most entertaining, but Jessica Jones is the best written.
Right. And I think Luke Cage inadvertently is probably the most deep.
And
You know,
I'm gonna hold reservations on that because Jessica Jones had a ton of fucking layers.
There's a ton of layers. But I think the character layers of Jessica and Kilgrave, they speak to issues in general. I don't think they ever go as deep as they could.
I'm not sure I agree with that.
You don't agree?
I'm not sure I agree with that, but that's a discussion for another time.
Like when they're playing house and shit.
There were a ton of fucking layers of that, though.
I agree. I'm just saying It's to me the complexity of these first two episodes of Luke Cage. I think it already trumps Jessica Jones. But that's only because I know what I know.
Yeah, like to me, like I'm just saying, not yet. I'm not saying I can't happen because I'm only on episode 2, but not from what I've seen so far. I do agree, like there's a lot to it, and it's very entertaining.
But it's masterfully connected. It's really masterfully connected.
But yeah, I'm curious what they're doing with Cottonmouth because it looks like they do have like another. How is it the Netflix fucking Marvel villains are 10 times better than the crappy movie versions? Like
I don't know. I agree.
Because I mean, I'm a huge defender of the Marvel movies, but at the same time, I will be the first to admit their villains suck.
Well, I think because when you adapt a film, you have to encapsulate everything a villain is in less than 2 hours.
Yeah.
I like Daredevil. I don't think we would have liked Kingpin as much if we didn't get like 2.5, 3 episodes of who this dude is.
True. Yeah, you have a lot more time to develop it.
Yeah.
But even then, you can like look at the Dark Knight, how they developed that villain in 2.5 hours.
And Cottonmouth, you know what I mean? Like, you'll be surprised where that goes.
I'm very curious.
But he ends up being actually quite a sympathetic character.
I don't doubt it. From what I've heard, just because people love to spoil shit on Instagram, from what I've learned.
Right.
Because nobody knows how to. Oh, I can make a funny meme out of something. It's like, I haven't watched an episode, you fucking bastards. I'm looking at you, Flash fans. You know how many fucking Flash spoilers I've seen because of fucking memes on the internet.
See, yeah, I try to stay away from all that. I'm usually successful, but I'm not the type of person where something can ruin it for me anyway.
No.
Somebody could tell me how something ends, but how I experience it to me is everything.
That's true.
You
Like
know?
even then, I still don't see how I don't know the circumstances for how that particular scenario happens. So there's still surprising there. But sometimes we look into like my Instagram feed, it's like, oh, son of a bitch.
Speaking of that, is Legends of Tomorrow like utterly useless? I've never even seen it.
I heard it's good.
You heard it's good?
I've heard it's good, but I haven't watched it personally.
Okay, I haven't seen it either.
Because
matter of fact, I gotta catch up on Flash because I stopped watching it after the last season opener. Or last season.
I think it's on Netflix.
Finale.
It's coming on Netflix pretty
It's
soon.
coming up.
Yeah.
I go on Hulu and catch the new ones, right?
Yeah, new ones are on Hulu. But anyway, I think we're getting sidetracked. So
Okay.
yeah, I'm curious what it's doing. I love villains, as everyone knows who watches the show. I love villains. I'm dying to do Cottonmouth. Luke Cage is pretty good. I love his monologue at the end.
Yeah. Well, and that's, we were discussing that too. Shit. There's just so much going on there. Mm-hmm. Culturally, you're in the middle of Harlem, right? You're at a memorial for Crispus Attucks, right? The first person to die for the American Revolution, by the way, just so you know, free black man got shot in the square in Boston, and they used him as basically as a martyr to start the Revolutionary War.
Yeah,
that's who that guy is. Step your revolutionary history game up. Anyway, so you're in the middle of Harlem. You're at a memorial for Crispus Attucks. This guy pulls a gun on Luke Cage. And fuck it, I'm just gonna say it on the video because I can. You know, he's
saying it, not me.
Yeah, is the word nigga is put into context in many different ways in this scene, and it's flipped around, it's used, and it's a really deep, important discussion about the use of the word and how far we have come since the word originated, and still at the end there's still the dichotomy. Yeah. Like Luke Cage lectures him on the word, but then he uses the word against him. And I think it's so brilliant because it perfectly encapsulates where Black America is at. We still have not had time to come to terms with what was done to us and what we do to each other.
Yeah.
Sometimes they bleed into each other. We can't really tell the difference.
Yeah.
And that's what was signified by that scene, right? So for me, for you, that it could have meant something completely different. But for me, like, that's what's happening.
I think for me, I was more like, we're talking about this in a superhero TV show. And I think, to me, like, between this and, like, what Jessica Jones has done for, say, like people who say they're superhero fatigue can go fuck themselves.
Yeah.
Because, like, we're fine. I think now, like, we're past the point where they can just be generic superhero movies. Now we're at the point, like, we can do more with this genre now.
Yeah, dude.
That's where we're at.
Yeah, dude. Like, superhero stories are the new Greek theater, dude.
They really are.
It's what people will remember 200 years from now when we're all dead and gone. They'll look at these pictures of Wolverine with the claws coming out. Tell me a story about Wolverine. And it'll be, well, Wolverine was da-da-da-da-da.
And let us all remember the wonderful tales of Howard the Duck.
Yeah, exactly. Howard the Duck, Star Wars, all that stuff.
And he was given life in screen by one known as Lucas.
Right?
It was met with not very good praise. Much like the seas of Troy.
Yes. The Emperor Lucas's reign lasted for 20 years.
Until he was thwarted by the mouse.
Right? That's funny, dude. But yeah, it's seriously, it's the new Greek theater. It's like, it is human canon at this point. It's not just pop culture.
Yeah.
It's human canon. Everybody knows at least one superhero and likes a story that was told about said superhero.
I can't wait for my Spider-Ham movie.
Okay. Spider-Ham. It's about this dude over here.
Yeah, dude. Spider-Ham, he's amazing. He's like Spider-Man, but he's a pig.
That's
totally original.
Awesome. Is that from the Simpson one?
No, actually, that's
Spider-Pig? Spider-Pig.
No, that's actually a comic book character. You can look him up.
Okay.
His real... Okay, listen to this. I don't know if you heard this. His secret identity is Peter Porker. Dead fucking serious. I am not making that up. It's amazing.
I'm so behind.
This has been around forever, dude.
I'm so behind.
Back to like the 70s, I think, or something.
Dude, I gotta check out that. I gotta look at
Spider-Ham, man. He's like the greatest Spider-Man in joke. They put him in like in every movie and video game they can.
That's amazing. Dude, like, how could I miss that? And I've consumed quite a bit of Spider-Man stuff.
He makes a cameo in Shattered Dimensions.
I played that game. Where is he?
He's like at the end credits scene.
Oh, okay.
Where he like shows up and what's her name?
Shadowcat?
No. The Madam something. The one who brings them all together.
Fuck.
Blind old woman. I'm blanking on her name.
I know, me too.
But either way, she just goes like, "What the fuck?" He was like, "When did I miss?" And then it cuts to black.
It's horrible.
I'm making the Madam Web. That's what she got.
Okay.
But yeah, I think that's. I just want to see the next episode.
Yeah, dude. As I said, I watched the whole series. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I love watching them over again, picking up stuff that I missed, seeing little nuances here and there.
I think you're missing my transition to stop this video and start watching the next episode.
I'm not missing it. I'm wrapping it up, baby.
Okay.
I'm wrapping it up. It's dope. Watch it. 5 stars for me.
So now we're gonna watch the next episode called "Who's Gonna Take the Weight?" Not me.
Also, did you know that all of these episode titles are named after Gangstar songs?
Oh, well now I do.
Not 80s and 90s hip hop group that was fairly renowned in New York.
And now
So
I know that.
all the titles.
I'm learning so much tonight.
I'm telling you, I got more, man. I got more.
I'm sure we'll hear before the series is done.
All right.
So on to the next one, guys. See you later.